Okay, let's talk about your resume. It's often the very first, and sometimes the only chance you get to make an impression. So, in the next few minutes, we're going to break down how to build one that doesn't just list what you've done, but actually opens doors.
I mean, picture this. A recruiter is staring at a stack of 100 applications. Yours has, what, maybe 6 seconds to grab their attention? So the big question is, how do you make every single one of those seconds count? Well, that's what we're here to figure out.
All right. Every good build needs a solid foundation, right? So before we jump into writing, let's get really clear on what a resume actually is, and just as important, what it's supposed to do.
Okay, so at its absolute core, a resume is just that, a summary. It's not your life story, not every single thing you've ever done. Think of it as a super targeted document with one goal, and one goal only, to get you that interview. And that means every single word you put on that page has to fight for its place.
And you know, this whole idea has been around for a long time. I mean, get this, the first known resume was actually written way back in 1482 by Leonardo da Vinci. He sent a letter to a potential patron listing all his skills. So here we are, over 500 years later, and you're basically doing the exact same thing, building your own professional story.
So now that we've got that foundation poured, it's time to put up the framework. Because a really great resume, it's not just some random list of jobs you've had. Nope. It's a carefully constructed story with you as the hero.
And really, you can think of your resume as having 5 essential building blocks. You've got your contact info, a professional overview, your work experience, education, and of course, your skills. Each one of these plays a super important part in telling that story. If you nail these 5 things, you're already way ahead of the game.
Okay, that professional overview, that's your elevator pitch. It is the very first thing a recruiter is going to read. And just like the quote says, it has to tell them who you are and what you're all about, like instantly. It's your hook. It's what makes them decide to keep reading.
So here's what it looks like when you put all those pieces together. See how clean and organized it is? The flow just naturally guides your eye right to the important stuff. Okay, now let's zoom in on what is arguably the most important section of all, your work experience.
Listen up, because this is probably the single biggest mistake people make on their resumes. They just list their duties. Don't do that. You need to showcase your achievements, and there's a simple formula for it. 1, start with a strong action verb. 2, describe what you actually achieved, not just what you were supposed to do. And 3, quantify your impact with numbers. It's the difference between saying, manage social media, and grew social media engagement by 40% in just 6 months. See the difference? Huge.
Seriously, I'm going to say it again because it is that important. Quantify it. Numbers are your best friend here. They take these vague beauties and turn them into solid, concrete achievements. Don't just say you improved something. Show them by how much. That's how you prove your value.
And hey, that skills section, it is not just some throwaway list at the end. It's a really strategic part of your resume. So yeah, list your technical skills, but make sure you're also including these key soft skills that recruiters are always looking for. Pro tip, if you see these exact words in the job description, you definitely want them on your resume.
Okay, so you've got all your amazing accomplishments and skills written down. Awesome. But now, how do you actually arrange it all on the page? That's where your layout, your blueprint comes in. It's the visual structure that holds your whole story together.
You've basically got 2 main options here. First is the reverse chronological. This is the classic format, right? Most recent job first, then going backward. It's perfect if you have a pretty clear, steady career path. Then there's the functional format. This one puts the focus on your skills, not so much your job history. It's a great choice if you're maybe changing careers or you've got a few gaps you want to downplay. And you can see the difference pretty clearly when you look at them side by side. The one on the left, the chronological one, it tells a very straightforward story through time. The functional one on the right, bam, skills are front and center. So which one is right for you? It totally depends on the story that you're trying to tell.
Okay, your story is ready. Your blueprint is chosen. Time for the final step, adding the polish. And in the modern world of job hunting, this means getting ready for your very first reader, who might not even be human.
Yep, you heard me right. Before a person ever lays eyes on your application, it's almost certainly going to be scanned by a robot, an applicant tracking system, or ATS. So your first audience is an algorithm. So how do you beat the bots? It's actually pretty simple. It boils down to 2 main things: keywords and simplicity. You've got to use the same keywords you see in the job description, and you need to avoid any fancy formatting, like no weird columns, graphics, or tables that can confuse the software. And of course, save it as a normal file, like a Word doc or a PDF.
Which, of course, brings up a big question a lot of people have these days. What about all those creative resumes? You know, the video ones or the cool infographics. Should you do one of those?
Well, what's the verdict? Honestly, the general advice is be careful. Unless you're going for a job in a super creative field like graphic design, these non-traditional formats run a huge risk of just getting ignored by the hiring software. The bottom line is always, always know your audience and the industry you're aiming for. Phew, we have covered a lot of ground. So before you go and hit that submit button, let's do one last final inspection just to make sure everything's perfect.
All right, here's your final checklist. Number 1, tailor it for each and every job, no exceptions. 2, keep the language simple and easy to read. 3, highlight what you've accomplished, but whatever you do, don't exaggerate. 4, keep a master resume on your computer with everything on it. This makes tailoring way easier. And last, but definitely not least, proofread everything. Then have a friend proofread it. Seriously, one little typo can be a total deal breaker.
At the end of the day, you have to remember this. Your resume is so much more than just a piece of paper listing your old jobs. It's a marketing tool. It's your personal advertisement, designed to sell your skills and your potential to your next boss.
So it really all boils down to this. Your resume is your one-page story. So the only question left to ask yourself is, what story is yours going to tell?